Well, we're here with the Viking, Robert Helenius. The Viking, you feel that deep inside you spiritually always?
Yeah. I haven't always felt like that, but with the time, I have to say, when I was 11, I thought I was born in the wrong time period because I wanted to sword fight and do stuff like that.
Get the axe out.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you go into the countryside? Do you get the axe out? Do you get the hunting?
I do a lot of hunting. I do a lot of axe chopping wood all the time. I love it.
So when you go into the ring, do you feel like you're carrying the spirit of your ancestors?
Yes, I do. But that took time to get to know how I am supposed to feel when I go up in the ring. Yeah, but because it's not easy in today's climate to do that stuff, because everybody thinks you're nuts, you're a crazy person or whatever.
Are you a little bit crazy inside?
I hope so. We have more fun.
Yeah. Now, you were having a fight on Saturday night in a 15th century castle.
Yeah.
How did that go, and what happened when you got to the dressing room afterwards? You knocked him out in 3 rounds. What happened afterwards?
Yeah, I come back in the dressing room all sweaty and wraps on and everything, and my manager pulls me aside and say, I need to talk to you a little bit. And I was like, okay, what can it be? He just says, like, yeah, we have to fight next weekend, or do you want to fight next weekend? I was like, why would I like to fight next week? And I just fought, like, I need a vacation. But then he said, like, yeah, it's Anthony Joshua fight. I was like, oh, I need to think about it. Just give me a few moments. And then I came back like 5-10 minutes later and said, okay, let's do this. This is what we do. We Vikings, we fight, you know. And I've been doing this my whole life. Why stop now?
In those 10 minutes that you made that decision that you wanted to go ahead, obviously Marcus, your manager, needed to negotiate. What went through your head, Robert?
Everything from hell to heaven.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you commit in that moment? Do you commit?
Yes, I have to commit, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't dare to take a fight if I won't commit to coming here and bringing my A game.
You've sparred with Joshua before that you've spoken about.
Yeah.
It was a different version of him.
Of course.
2017, it was prior to the Klitschko fight.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
What do you remember of him?
Yeah, it was pretty close, a good sparring. I liked sparring with him. We were connecting really good, and the sparring brought me as well forward as well as him. So I have nothing else but good things to say about him. I respect him tremendously.
What about his technique? What about his style? Do your styles gel?
He's changed it up since the Joshua fights. The Usyk fights.
Oh, since the Usyk fights.
Usyk fights, because I've been watching that. And I think he's more technical now and moving a bit more backwards this time around, because back then he was just going straight forward, aggressively.
He was a young, reckless fighter at the time as a heavyweight?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you remember that time as well?
Yeah, I remember. But he had so tremendous power. I thought that was his strength as well. So he did good.
When you knew on Sunday the deal was done, does it feel even now like you've been given the golden ticket?
Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like this is my chance to prove the world that I am a true Viking.
So if you beat you'll say when you beat Joshua.
Yes.
Are you pushing for the Wilder rematch?
Probably. That would be, I think, because I have to redeem myself. That was 1 round. I trained for that fight for 1 year, so it was too quick for my taste.
Why were you so aggressive in that fight against Wilder?
Yeah, because we have hundreds of rounds sparring with him, and in those hundreds of rounds, he never took a step back. He only came for me, so I didn't know he had that in him.
So it was a chess game. He was playing,
exactly. And,
playing possum.
Yeah, and my game plan was to go aggressively at him. But after 1.5 minutes in the first round, I was thinking something's wrong. He's moving too fast backwards. I have to change up something. But then in some point, the 3 knocks comes in. I know 10 seconds left. I need to throw something at him in the last 10 seconds, and it happens.
In the heavyweight division at the moment, there have been a lot of delays of guys fighting each other. How do you feel, for example, I know you sparred with Fury many rounds, hundreds of rounds. How do you feel about Tyson Fury not defending the WBC belt but fighting Francis Ngannou?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's too politicized, this boxing with those world championships. I think the best should beat the best and fight each other. And of course, I also think that if you lose, then you start over and fight the top tens again and giving a new chance if you deserve it. Not like that you can own the belt all the time just by politicizing it. It's for me, because I've been chasing it for so long and probably would have an opportunity in some point if it wouldn't been politicized so much.
Normally you go through a 10-week, 12-week camp for a really big fight. This is a really big fight.
Yeah.
What happens when you've only got 6 days to plan to fight an opponent? How do you...
I can only tell you what happened so far because...
have you had this before?
No, not in this scale. Probably like a change of my opponent in middle of training camp or something like that. But this is completely new and some absurd. Doesn't feel real sometimes. And but I know I've been so long in this game. I know I can bring the warrior spirit to me and just make it happen. And I've been in a training camp before my last fight, so I've been in about 12 weeks. I've been in a 12-week training camp before this, so it doesn't. I'm fit and I don't feel like an underdog, you know. Like even though I know in the odds and everything in the bigger schemes of things, I like being the underdog though.
Can I ask? Obviously, Anthony Joshua is a big deal in the UK. He's a big deal in the boxing world. Did it feel really big today, this press conference?
Yeah, of course, but I'm used to it as well.
You've been involved in big as well.
Yeah, so it doesn't bother. Of course, press conference, I would love to be without them because
really?
I like my privacy, I like my nature and my own mind. But it's necessary for the sport to bring. I know that, and that's our job. But if I could be, I would be anonymous.
Ah.
Yeah.
What did you gain from being close to him today, and what are you visualizing on Saturday night?
Yeah. This press conference is usually just the first touch of the ice. But I think the real, when you can look into another man's soul, it's the weigh-in, you know.
Okay.
In the weigh-in, because we're so close to the fight back then, so the adrenaline is pumping and both are like focused. Of course, he was focused now as well, but it's. I've seen this before, you know, and press conference. Not everybody takes it so seriously.
What are you visualizing on Saturday night? Do you knock him out?
Yeah.
As Vikings,
Yes.
What do we do into the camera now? What do we do? What's the Viking call? What do we shout? What do we shout as Vikings?
No. Everything or Valhalla.
Everything or Valhalla.
Exactly.
The Viking.